Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, let's talk about how to stop worrying about your money and finances and dealing with kind of like the uncertainties of the way things might go, or what if this happens, what if that happens, right? Typically, we have a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty when it comes to our survival, right? And fear, right? Fear of the unknown is present in all of us, right? We all experience that, and it's for obvious reasons, right? Like, we have to be on the lookout for potential danger, right, in order to survive, right? Because if we're caught off guard, or we wait too long, or just whatever might happen, right? Like if we're in the wild, right, and we're just sitting there camping, right, and we're so in the moment, we're so immersed in having conversations with each other, we're partying, we're drinking, we're having fun, right? But we don't think for a minute, like, wait, is there a bear? Is there a tribe that might come and try to conquer us or try to instigate, right? So fear and thinking about the future and the potential negative things that might happen is a good thing, right? Because it's a way to protect us, and it's a way to make us aware of what could happen so that we can better prepare ourselves in this moment for whatever happens, right? So when it comes to your money and your finances, it's really hard to deal with, right? Because that's our primary survival tool in this world, right? Like, think of everyone today, how scrunched people are for money when it comes to just basic, things like rent, utilities, food, water, car insurance, right? Like, people are so afraid of losing their houses, losing their car, losing their ability to just pay for food, right? So, if you're someone who wants to be successful, if you're someone who is always like striving for more and wants to see like, good growth potential in whatever you're doing, right? In your career, your business, or your side hustle, then, you're going to have times where you're going to just feel uncertain about how much money you're going to be able to make, or whether you're going to get potential clients, or whether you're going to get promoted or not. So in life, there's always going to be, no matter how far you get, there's always going to be uncertainty, right? And that's something that you can't escape. So just knowing that there's no escape from uncertainty, there's no escape from the unknown, should give you peace of mind in a way, because you'll stop fighting with yourself, and you'll stop thinking like, damn, like there's something I can do about this, right? Obviously, you want to sit there and try to make as much money as you can. You want to, do all the right things. You want to invest your money so that you have, good finances when you're a little older, right? You want to make sure that that's in order. But even if you're a multimillionaire, right, there's always the fear of losing that money, right? Think of Warren Buffett. You don't think there's times where he's nervous that the stock market might crash, or the stock market might completely go out, right? Or, there's something that goes on where he just loses his money, right? Like, there's always going to be that fear. There's always going to be that uncertainty. So you have to get comfortable with knowing that life in general revolves around uncertainty, right? I can wake up tomorrow and something might happen to me, right? I could get hit by a car, God forbid. Someone could come in and try to kill me, right? Like, anything can happen, right? So I'm not trying to put a curse on myself here, but think of, and another thing too, it's like with my YouTube channel, right? Like, guys, there's times where I'll make a video, right, and I'll think to myself, damn, like, this video is probably going to get a lot of views, because obviously content creators, we're trying to get views, right? I'm not gonna lie, like, I make videos so that they'll reach the algorithm, right, for the most part. So at the end of the day, right, I can make a video and think to myself, damn, this might get a couple thousand views, but I can wait 2 days and it only might get 200, right? So no matter how much I might think like, damn, like, this video is gonna do really well, reality is always gonna slap you in the face, right? And you have to be okay with that, right? Because not every video you make is gonna take off. Not every investment you make is gonna make money right away, right? And another thing too is, when it comes to goal setting and deadlines, right, we like to constantly, right, in our head, and I'm a victim of this every single day, every second of every day, I'm always doing this, right, at least when I'm, by myself, right? I'm always thinking to myself, like, hey, like 6 months from now, what if this happens? Or 6 months from now, I want to be able to do this. A year from now, I want to be able to do this, right? And as I observe like those thinking patterns, right? I don't try to fight them. I don't try to escape them. But I'm like, damn, like the human mind is just really, it has a really deep need for certainty, right? And every time that I think of like how I'm gonna be able to do something, or how I'm gonna be able to make this much amount of money in this span of time or whatever, and if I do that, like if I overthink about it, or I start to really try to over plan or over like, evaluate like my future, I'll always look at it like, hey, like I always come back to myself like, hey, like if I can just wake up every single day, regardless of the uncertainty that my mind's always gonna come up with, if I can get up every single day and do something that's gonna move me toward that goal, right? No matter how much I overthink, no matter how much I try to overplan, or no matter how much I try to get things done in a certain amount of time, or get a goal met by a certain period of time, I'm gonna be okay, right? And that's what it comes down to. Like we fear that that's really what it comes down to. We fear that we're gonna die, right? Because if you don't make money, right, you think to yourself, well, what happens if you don't make money? What happens if you don't have enough money? Well, guess what? Now you get evicted. Now you're homeless, right? What happens if you're homeless? Well, hey, you might not be able to get food, right? Well, what happens if you don't get food or water? You get sick. What happens if you get sick? You die, right? So everything traces back down to death, right? Everything traces back to our mortality. So at the end of the day, right, it's natural for us to overthink. It's natural for us to overplan. It's natural for us to be fearful of the unknown to a certain degree, right? But one thing that you can bet on, one thing you can kind of, I wouldn't say guarantee, but one thing that can kind of give you some stability, I guess. Not security, but stability. Security is an illusion. There's no such thing as security. Stability, right? So you're not too out of whack, right? Is just being able to take action every day, guys. It's really that simple. And I kind of bark on this a lot, but a lot of our problems, right, especially when it comes to finances, it's mental, but it's also like physical too, in the sense that a lot of people just don't take action. Like think of the person who worries about their finances, right? But they work in a minimum wage job. That's all they've ever known, right? That's all they've ever been exposed to, right? And then when they go home, instead of trying to figure out ways like, damn, like how can I get out of this so I don't have to deal with this financial stress and this financial turmoil, right? They go home and they numb themselves, or they go watch TV, or they just are caught up with family, and they're caught up with chores and home activities and whatever else, right? So many different things. But if people cared enough, right, to really get their finances together, to really invest, to really learn, to really put themselves in a position to win, so that they can not have to worry so much about money. I mean, like I said, you're always gonna worry about money, but I would argue that rich people worry less about money. Because think about it, if you have, let's say you have $30,000, $40,000 coming in every month, right, and you're somewhat of a minimalist, right, and you minimize your expenses, like, hey, like I have a really good skill set, whether it's a business, whether it's a trade, to be able to make money, right? But if and obviously with I'm just using this as an example, but $40,000, right, like that over exceeds your living expenses, that exceeds insurance, whatever. So people who make that much money, they have a lot of reserves, right? So if every month I have extra money to put away, I have extra resources to put away, then your survival needs are somewhat taken care of. So you're not as worried as much as someone who's only making $3,000 or $4,000 a month, right? So, like I said, I mean, your biggest hedge against your own fear, against your own insecurity, against your own worrying about the unknown, worrying about what's going to happen when it comes to your money, your finances, your career, your health, your future, right, is to simply take action every day and have a mindset that you're gonna learn, right? There's not a day that goes by or a week that goes by where I don't at least read a little bit of a book, right? And it could be literally on anything, right? Sometimes I read about psychology, sometimes I read about health, sometimes I read about finances. But I understand that if I'm always learning, if I'm always learning new information, learning about new ways to do things, right? And I'm upping my game and I'm constantly applying it for the most part, whether it's in these YouTube videos or whether it's just mentally how to think differently, whatever, I know that I'm probably going to be all right in the future, right? Even though I do have worries, even though I do have uncertainties that sometimes arise, right? Because I'm not going to lie, right now I'm not rich, right? Like I don't have a lot of money that I'm able to put away at the end of each month, right? So it is I do get a little worried at times, right? And I would say it's healthy. I would say that anyone in my position who's making, $4,000 to $5,000 a month would be somewhat, not worried, but somewhat like, hey, like a little bit of stress, because it's like, hey, you never know what's going to happen, right? So the best thing you can do is to put one foot in front of the other. Don't try to overanalyze about how things are going to happen. And then I can guarantee, for the most part, that'll give you a little bit more of a peace of mind and stability. And you'll be able to just be more mindful of like, hey, like this is just how my mind operates. This is how every human brain operates, right? So I don't think God would let you, suffer like that. I don't think God, I don't think you're going to go homeless. I don't think God would let you, be broke forever. If you're taking action every single day, if you're constantly learning, if you're constantly trying to improve, like you're going to be just fine. So have faith in that, trust that, and, just keep taking the right steps every day to meet your goals and, live the life that you want. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.